What's going on, guys? I screwed it up already. Welcome to an episode of
What's all right? What's up, guys? You can start it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
It's recording.
I know. So I'm gonna start over. All right, screw it. We're gonna roll with it. This is Whiskey with an Agent, Dram style. Today we're gonna be talking about home inspections. My name is Jared,
And I'm Chris.
And
I'm
Marty.
Our guest is Marty VanDyke.
Yep, that's me, the home inspector.
Continue telling us a little bit about like how long you've been a home inspector and what region. I guess that doesn't matter what region, but how long you've been doing it.
Yeah. So I started inspecting houses in 2008 during the real estate crisis for banks and foreclosures and stuff. I started professionally inspecting as a home inspector 2018.
Oh, okay. So you've been doing it for a few years. Then.
I have, yeah. And it's kind of the same field, but from the REO foreclosure side and then into the just regular.
So you learned with like dumps, pretty much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The amount of dumps that went through there.
Yeah, and it was tough because if we missed something, we had to do the repairs or fix it for free.
Right. Okay.
Because we were getting paid to inspect the houses, clean them out, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that for 8 years, probably 10,000 houses.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
so you have a lot of homes under your belt.
Oh, yeah, a lot. But we didn't need a license to do that, a home inspector's license. But now that market's totally dead, so...
For the most part. An article just got released from Keeping Current Matters talking about the amount of foreclosure notices that have been released. And if you compare it to what it was in 2007 or 2008, there was over 1 million in 2008. And now there's like barely 200,000 to 300,000. So a lot of people are hoping that, or expecting there's a bubble. There's a bubble, and a lot of prominent voices on YouTube who have like thousands of followers, they're saying the crash just for the clickbait, but it's not. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so either.
Dang.
This is a guy who literally you went through the crash.
Right.
Yeah, and that was great because for me it was I was one of the only people I knew with a job.
That's kind of a sad thing to laugh at, but it's true. It's funny.
That's a good
thing. I was down in South Florida, and I think our the foreclosure rate was like 10% of houses. So it was
Holy
crisis.
Crap. Yeah, that's a lot, and like the foreclosure rate right now is actually really, really, really low.
Right, and then people are thinking, the forbearance because of COVID, and then those people who are able to, not pay their mortgage for a while, they're never going to catch up. But I don't think that we can let that happen.
No, the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, actually released a statement directing towards all lenders that you are to make payments work with anyone who's forbearance.
Right.
That only goes for those who are government backed, so such as like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, that are actually But if you're a private lender, you don't have to obey by that law.
That's true.
So the amount of people who will actually be foreclosed on in that time is going to be drastically smaller because majority of loans are held by government backed security. Mortgages.
Interesting.
So, little side note right there.
Yeah.
Getting caught up in your experience. Thank you again for so much for being here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, like, quick question: as far as like becoming a home inspector, there's some ratings, some license, some state licensing, I guess.
Similar to a real estate license.
Get up a little bit closer to the mic.
Yeah, it's similar to the real estate license. We have to do our 168-hour course or whatever it may be.
All right.
Pass the state exam, go do the FBI fingerprinting, background checks, all that stuff. And that brings me to a good point is I don't understand why we can't get access to super lockbox codes.
You do, don't you?
No,
I thought
we don't.
There's a CBS code or like an inspection code.
Like we don't have, we're not allowed that access. But we should be because we do all the same background checks that realtors do.
Right.
So
that's interesting
strange,
because a lot of
unless
inspectors,
it has changed recently.
Yeah, a lot of inspectors are able to access the property via e-key, electronic e-key access. So and for Florida, it's Supra, and so they have to have a special called a CBS code or an inspection code. So you do the normal code that reads your profile, and then it's a secondary secondary lock. That way it indicates that this is an actual inspector in your profile.
Well, maybe something to look into.
Yeah, look into that. It's
Yeah.
because if you're having to be stuck and wait for somebody,
Yeah,
it's
especially
like,
an agent has to drive, like you're from an hour to meet me for me to do something for 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
In a vacant house, and then
Yeah.
But the average inspection is, what is an average length of inspection?
home inspection about 2.5 hours.
About 2.5 hours. It also depends on the size and
Right. Yeah.
and
How
then
many
the types of inspections.
Bedrooms and
Yeah.
types
How
of,
fancy it is, like how much.
Yeah.
Is there a pool? Is there a detached building? What is it?
Try to stay up on that mic.
yeah.
What kind of inspections are there?
So the most, home inspection, where we do the whole thing from top to bottom.
Yeah.
We have 4-point inspections, wind mitigations. We can do mold inspections, air quality sampling. There's the pools, WDO. We do have the ability to do WDOs.
Okay. All right, and we're going to kind of go through each one of those. So the general inspection is the overall inspection of the home, top to bottom, roof, inside and out, the grounds, things of that nature.
Everything,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
everything.
Now, the other reports that you indicated, such as the 4-point, the wind mit, these are specialized
Right,
reports. And what do they kind of serve?
So basically, they are for your insurance company. They're just like a Cliff Notes version. The 4-point is like a Cliff Notes version of a home inspection.
Okay.
It's just got a quick synopsis of, where is your, how old is your roof? How old's your water heater, your AC unit? Where is it located?
Okay.
What brand is it?
And the
Right.
4-point, or like even the wind mit. So like the 4-point, what is the 4-point? 4
The
points of a
roof,
home.
the plumbing, the electric, and the air conditioning.
Okay. All of those are very much are required for any home that is older than 30 years old.
Right.
All right. So,
Yeah.
because we got to make sure that those systems, insurance companies want to make sure those systems have been taken care of.
So this is not those two things. It's not necessarily something that a homeowner is going to call you and
Yeah.
order, or is it going to be more the lender is the lender or
insurance
the insurance company?
Yeah.
The insurance
Is-
company is going to
is
require that
require it.
4-point.
So the homeowner probably calling you, but it's based
Right.
on
It's
the
because
fact.
the agent's saying you need to have this 4-point in order for me to find you a policy.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
They have to
Yeah.
use
All
the
right.
information from the 4-point in
Yeah.
order to hook them up with.
The
Okay.
proper amount of insurance,
Right.
if at all, because right now insurance, and we'll actually have. It'd be interesting to have an insurance agent, and then you.
Oh,
sit
that'd
down
be
together.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can just bounce off.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah.
I'm sure.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm sure.
So we'll definitely set that up in a later date for sure. But it also depends on your loan, what type of loan that you have that could require a particular inspection. In particular, or most noteworthy, are VA loans.
Yeah.
And they require.
WDOs.
All right. And what is a WDO?
So it's a wood destroying organism.
Okay.
It could be termites, it could be beetles, it could be wood rot. Anything that's gonna destroy wood.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a
It's not an
physical
insect.
a little
Yeah.
bug. It could just be actual wood rot.
Yeah, organism.
So
yeah.
that's technically an organism.
Yeah. Water
Yeah.
is technically an organism.
Right.
And being in the state of Florida,
Right.
you're going to see your most common wood rot at door frames that read to the outside.
Right.
Right there at the
So-
bottom 6 inches of
Yeah.
that frame.
So and a lot of people they get worried when they hear wood destroying organism. They automatically
They think
go
the
to
house is falling down.
termites. Yeah, they automatically go to termites or some sort of bug or
Yeah.
something. So it's not a scary thing. It just means you have
Yeah.
some wood rot around
Yeah.
your house, and
And
that's
that's
a common thing.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if you do have termites, that is something
That absolutely
you
needs
have
to
to
be
get
addressed.
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 But yeah, so that I wanted to bring that up because when I a long time ago, the first time I was buying a house and I heard WDO, wood destroying organism, I thought some sort of bug. I didn't realize it was just wood rot.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it could be just
Yeah.
wood rot.
Anything that can compromise the wood.
Yeah.
It's good that the agencies like the VA require that because they don't want you to buy a house and then get duped by somebody and it's needs
Yeah.
all these repairs
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah.
And then another thing with the VA is paint chipping. If the exterior of the home has paint that's chipping or fading or peeling and stuff like that, that's another issue right there.
It's the same situation. You know, they don't want you to buy something that's gonna break.
Yeah. And plus, at the same time, like they're also it's pretty much zero down payment.
Right, and I think they even go 103%. If I'm not,
so they're paying some of the closing
they
costs.
can give you a little extra
to cover some of that closing costs, which is really nice. That's
just from what I've heard. You know, I'm not a mortgage broker or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Your insight is very helpful.
Yeah.
We will dive into that one.
What do you want to hit next? You want to talk about some electrical or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and so pretty much electrical panels. Some of the things that buyers need to be aware of, as well as sellers.
Yeah, and I think agents too. It's real important for agents. You know, if you're going to take on a new listing, you know, and you always ask your seller, "Hey, when was your roof done?" Because you know that's one of the ones. The next one should be, "What kind of panel do you have?" Because one way or another, we're going to have to address this. So there's you know five or six panels that are just like on the no-fly list for insurance reasons.
Yeah. Right. What are some of those panels?
Federal Pacific is the big one.
Yeah.
Then we got Westinghouse, Zinsco, Sylvania, Bulldog. I actually seen a Bulldog panel yesterday right down the street, about 10 blocks down.
Yeah.
And it's cool panel. It's from the 50s.
Yeah.
And you actually, instead of flipping the breaker like a switch, you push it in like a button to turn it on.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I saw probably the oldest panel that I ever saw actually came in. Like the fuse box was a giant thing that had a hook, and you had to pull it out of its socket. It's like a giant, like a miniature battery. And essentially, I was just like, "What is that?" And he's like, "That's the breaker." I'm like, "Holy crap!" He's like, "Yeah, this is not supposed to be here anymore.
No.
Not at all."
Is there something that you know, just your regular, if they can't remember like the brand names, is there a way, like if I walk into a house and I look at a panel, is there an easy way? I mean, it's not going to be 100% for every panel, but
so if the breakers are different colors, if you got red and blue breakers,
green, that's a no good.
Those are the ones that you know need to get swapped.
So essentially,
and Challenger too is another one.
It should just be like a regular black breaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
What made some of those panels so problematic?
So it's that the breakers don't trip. You know, that's what they're designed to do. When they get too much power to them or they get overheated, they turn off. But those breakers don't. They just stay on. So
that's not good. And that causes like fire
heat,
damages.
fire. I had a breaker in a condo in Daytona Beach Shores. It looked fine. If you looked at the panel, it looked great. I put my thermal on it. The breaker was 240 degrees.
Holy crap.
Cow.
Yeah.
That's hot to the touch.
That's
like
hot.
Beyond hot to the touch.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like the water coming out of your sink is not that hot.
Yeah, it was very hot. And it was one of the things I remembered, you know, out of all the inspections we did. But
holy crap.
Yeah, that's definitely, you know, reason to do it.
All right. So everyone, now you know. If you don't want a fire in your house, make sure that panel is up to date.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, under amperage is a big thing too. Make sure the house is proper amperage.
Yep.
What's the today's standard for amperage?
150.
150. It's still 120, depending on
125 if it's a smaller house, like a condo or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 200
and even 100. There's a lot of 100s.
Yeah.
But you know, we want 125 or better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As for plumbing, that's and we'll get to the roof here in a section. For plumbing, I feel like it's a little bit easier to kind of describe or to talk about. There are different types of plumbing, as we know.
Right.
What are the best and the worst?
Well, tried and true is copper all day long.
Okay.
Copper supply is good. CPVC, which is the yellow colored PVC.
That's
good. Yep.
Yeah.
Then we, you know, getting to the newer stuff, we have PEX and Uponor, which is just a different kind of PEX.
Okay. And
going
everything so far you're saying is good.
Is good.
Okay.
Yeah. And to go backwards on that scale, we have polybutylene, which is just it's a killer.
Yeah.
No insurance company wants to touch that. It looks like PVC, but it's dark gray.
Yeah, and it has copper fittings.
Yeah, it's got
and copper black. I've seen a
they're
couple
black.
different
Yeah,
too.
they're black most of the time. PEX looks very similar. It's the same style, you know, compression with the crimps and stuff, but it's the material that it's made out of, the polybutylene, deteriorates from the inside.
Right.
And that creates
So.
like hairpin
Little cracks.
Yeah, and next thing you know, you're having a small
Gotcha.
leak that can
Yeah.
turn.
And we see still polybutylene on the supply lines. So coming, underneath your bathroom sink where the little valve is, going up to the faucet, is always those dark gray polybutylene. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's the same material and it's under pressure.
Yeah.
So, it's got to be treated the same. Just swap it out.
Just swap it out.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the other ones that are bad? Like we know there's galvanized.
So galvanized is, that's past its life.
Yeah.
That stuff is like a corroded artery.
Yes. Think about it. And we have some photos of it too that we'll share.
Yeah.
But it's steels, and when you have water touching that, it just
Yeah.
erodes. Same thing with cast iron.
Cast iron, yeah.
Cast iron is a big issue as well.
Cast iron too.
Yeah.
So, and that's one thing we're looking at. So when I get my report, our office staff does a great job at giving me all the back end stuff. So I know when the permits were pulled.
Yeah.
How big is the house? When was it built? Anything 1972 or before,
Yeah.
it's gonna have cast iron.
Yep.
They weren't using PVC.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, because
So-
some of those materials, that's when you see those older houses and just historic spots. When you see it up for sale and you haven't seen it sold in the past 20 years, chances are those issues are still going to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like having that knowledge as a realtor or even as a prospective buyer, like you need to have that understanding
Right.
Yeah.
of everything.
And that expectation. So, when I'm looking over, they could have been replumbed, sure.
True.
But I'm expecting to find certain things
Mhm.
at houses that are in a certain age.
Right.
Like aluminum wiring in the
Yeah.
mid 70s,
Yep. And you
Yeah.
see like a 70s home, chances are you got to look
Maybe,
for that.
yeah. There might be aluminum wiring there because that's when, we had a copper shortage
Yeah.
and all these contractors had to
Yeah.
use aluminum.
Yep.
That's
So
what started
out
the
in
fire.
Deltona, that's very common to see.
Mhm. Yes, it
Mid
is.
70s aluminum wiring.
Interesting.
And then also, where we see cloth wiring, what age do you usually see cloth wiring start or stop?
50s to early 70s.
Mhm.
That's like the cloth covered wiring. So there's insulated cloth wiring, which isn't considered bad, but most of it only has 2 wires. It doesn't have a ground wire.
Okay.
So now we have our Romex
Yep.
wiring, but the knob and tube stuff from the 1940s
Mhm.
that we often see beachside, most of it's been terminated.
Okay.
But we don't know what's going on in the wall. We can
Mhm.
see in the attic maybe it's been snipped out and replaced. but-
Right.
Cut leaving the panel when you take off the
Yeah.
the surface
Yeah.
of it all.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's definitely something to be aware of.
okay. Anything else further when it comes to electric, or even plumbing?
No, just knowing your supply and your drain lines.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's more important. Would you argue that? I would argue that it's more important to see the supply lines being more updated versus the
I would agree.
the exit or the ventilation. I've seen some insurance company tackle us or push back when they see ventilation that's cast iron, and it says ventilation cast iron,
Yeah.
Right.
and as the only source, and the supply is copper or like a PVC.
Right.
And you're just
right.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
guys?
I think
Why
that's
are
an
you
out.
saying
That's an
this?
easy out for them.
It-
They're like, I'm
it's
out.
like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roofing.
Roofing,
Yes.
our biggest topic right now, especially in the insurance world.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Because
a lot of fraud, right?
They are. You guys own homes,
Yep.
If your roof's over 15 years,
Yeah.
good luck. I
Yeah.
mean, it's tough.
Well, a friend of mine he's having to buy a new roof because it's getting to
Yeah.
that 15-year
That's the
mark, and
mark.
the insurance company
Yeah.
called him and said, "Hey, I'm not going to renew your insurance policy because
Yeah.
you're past."
Yeah, and that's
Even though
something
his
that-
roof is still good.
right.
Good. On
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah. And some of them look really good. I mean, I've been fooled by some roofs that were 2005 that I thought were, 2013.
Yeah.
They just some shingle manufacturers did a really good job, or maybe they bought a 40-year shingle and not a 30-year shingle.
Mhm.
But they don't care.
Yeah.
They just care about
The
numbers.
age.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
year, how old?
Yeah.
Statistically,
Yeah, but get one storm on that new roof and it'll just absolutely destroy
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But insurance fraud right now from these roofing companies is really bad. I'm not going to name any names, but if you're looking to replace your roof, don't go with the person that knocked on your door.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't go with the person that knocked on
Definitely.
your door.
Yeah,
They're gonna.
That's
fight
what
you.
we're all paying for. That's why all our
Yeah.
insurance rates went up.
Yeah, all of my insurance just went up, and everyone's having to pay for citizens, whether you're Florida.
Yeah.
If you're a Florida resident, you had to pay for insurance. So I got hit with a $13 little bill the other day that I had to pay for citizens.
So we're chipping in on that.
Everyone's chipping.
Oh,
in.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a state emergency insurance. I'm okay with that. If I have to pay my part to make sure that the state is okay,
Yep.
then I'm okay with that.
Right.
I am too.
Yep.
If it's minuscule like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If a guy slept with $150, I'd be like, whoa, why?
Why?
Let me pull the numbers of how many people are here.
What's going on? Yep.
Yeah.
You know, but citizens wrote over $1 million policies.
That's a lot for them, especially if we get something.
Yeah, if we get a storm,
If we get something serious,
Yeah.
that's a lot for them.
Oh,
yes, it really is.
Yeah.
It'll that company will belly up.
Yep.
Well, it's the
100%.
government, so
Yep.
It's true.
they'll just
they'll
print
get bailed
more.
out.
They'll print
Yeah.
Just print more and get bailed out. Okay, so the most common two roofs for shingle roofs. Don't really want to get into a metal too much because that's new and coming up.
Right.
But what are the two shingles that consumers should be wary of?
weary of, stay
Or
away
just be
from.
aware-
Or,
be
so we got
aware of.
architectural shingles,
Right.
you know, which is asphalt shingle,
Mm-hmm.
and 3-tab, but you don't really see that much anymore. 3
Yeah.
tabs.
It's-
So
I see it.
three.
it's a
see it
lower
everywhere.
quality shingle.
Well,
It's
you guys are
been-
here on the coast.
Yeah.
I'm inland, and I
But
see
I
it all the
see it on
time.
a lot of the older homes.
Yeah,
around
no one's
here.
doing new 3-tab.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not.
Yeah.
If they do, it's like, "Err,
Yeah.
come on, why'd you
They're-
do
Yeah,
that?"
why are you doing that?
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
that's probably because the homeowner didn't either know any better. Or they're trying to save a buck.
Save some money.
So
I'll
most
let
of
the
it's
next person worry
more than
about it.
likely that they're trying
Yeah.
to. They're just trying to save a buck.
And a lot of sellers, which I understand, if you don't have the buck to replace it,
Yeah.
understand that you're gonna have a huge obstacle as a seller with a 3-tab that's say 12 years old, because at that point, that 3-tab is at its end of its life.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting toasted right
Yep.
now.
Oh yeah.
Because they're only
yeah.
single layer coverage. So an architectural shingle
Yeah.
is kind of like a 3-tab with another decorative layer on top of it. So
Mhm.
you get two
Yeah.
Right.
coverings.
Yeah.
I like
You
to
know.
describe it as a 3-tab looks like a flat brick road, whereas the architectural has layers to it, like an onion, just kind of overlapping each other. It looks funny. It looks not funny, but fancy.
Right.
And it looks good. It's pleasant. Whereas this one over here, it's I look like I can drive my car over that. It's so flat and smooth. And would you say that the most common when you see shingles on the ground, it came from a 3-tab?
You
Because
know,
they just can't handle the weather.
They
and the
tend
wind.
to pick those up before we come.
That's funny, but you're going to see the difference in the shingle
yeah,
up there.
if I see
Yeah.
missing shingles, it's
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times missing shingles is a 3-tab.
I gotcha. We're kind of losing some time here. HVAC systems. Is there any recalls with that? Is life expectancy? What are we looking at for there?
So depends where you're at.
Okay.
If you're at beachside and you got a condo and your unit is on the roof, you're getting 6 to 8 years out of that unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you're inshore, single family home, the same unit, you're getting 12 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it
So-
also because of the elements? Your
the
coast
salt.
side, the
It's
salt.
The salt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
salt. It just tears them up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're metal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just- yeah.
It doesn't mix.
Like,
No,
look
not
at
at
the
all.
doorknobs on a condo. They
Right.
don't last
This is
long.
so
Yep.
true. That's
Yep.
so true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there? So we know that electrical panels have recalls. The plumbing's got recalls. Is there any current recalls that we should be aware of coming up, or any problematic systems? Or brands
No,
out
we
there?
don't. We don't really have that issue with
Okay.
HVAC. No.
Okay.
At least not from, where we're concerned. I'm sure
Mhm.
guys that are HVAC contractors, have their systems that they hate.
Right.
But as far as we're concerned, they're
Mhm.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I
you know,
gotcha.
They,
Would you say that there's a stark difference between beyond its useful life but still working the way it's designed versus something that's dead?
so yeah, and to try to describe, so something that's dead, obviously it's not working.
Yeah.
It needs to get fixed. You're not going to be comfortable in this home because you can't heat it or cool it.
Right.
When something is functional but past its life expectancy, that's saying, hey, it's working now. It might quit working when I leave,
Right.
or you might get you know, 3 to 5 years out of it.
Yeah.
There's no way to really predict that.
Yeah.
But what it's doing is it's preparing the person who's buying the home for a large expense.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, an HVAC that's a very large expense.
It
It's
is.
$6,000-$7,000.
Yeah.
Easily,
It
yeah.
is.
You know,
And not to mention if your ductwork needs to be replaced too, if that's
Right.
torn up
Right.
and stuff, well, you just
it'd
gotta
be
add
like
that onto it.
it'd be like buying a car without knowing its mileage. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it might look pretty, but
Right.
does it have 300,000 miles? I don't.
Right.
You know.
Right.
What would be the what would you recommend in terms of maintenance? Are you comfortable giving recommendation of maintenance of a HVAC system?
Well, I would just say that maintenance, you need to do it twice a year, at least once a year. But, you know, I do mine twice a year.
Yeah.
You get a maintenance program. It's very affordable.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, they clean your coils, they check your Freon levels. You know, that's their job. That's what they know how to do.
Yeah.
And it really is, it's worth, you know, it's like $100 maybe for the year.
Yeah.
It's very cheap.
No. Well, that's nothing compared to what it would cost later
If you
down the
didn't
road
do
if
it,
you
yeah.
didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I have mine on a 6-month rotation.
Yeah, that's
so
how
right
mine is.
before summer, right before winter.
Yeah.
Just come on in, do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually just got a flyer last week from my company that said your prepaid cleaning is due to be scheduled. I'm like, oh, how nice. of them.
Nice,
Yeah,
thanks
nice.
for the reminder. Yeah, it was so funny too. My last maintenance, just before going to the, I think coming into the new year, I just got a text message, and I was just like, "Yeah, you guys were literally on my hit list to call to come have my stuff serviced."
Right,
like,
right.
And they're like, "Yeah, we just implemented it."
Because they want to come, like, you know, maybe
Yeah.
try to find something they could sell you.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
I
A
don't know.
UV light or something.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
How about hot water heaters? Are they becoming problematic
They
in terms
are,
of
yeah.
insurance and stuff like that?
Yeah, insurance-wise, it's the same thing, like 15 years. And it depends on the insurance company. But, yeah, I'm hearing a lot about homeowners getting pushback from the underwriters about the age of the water heater, regardless of condition.
Yeah.
And
Oh, really?
there's so many water heaters that, you know, were made in the mid-90s that are in better shape than
Then they
2010
just don't build
water
it
heaters.
like they
Yep.
used
You know.
to.
They don't. They don't. And I'll talk about a story on the live show that, because I've known Marty for a little bit, and he actually bought my first house.
Did you sell him a lemon?
No,
I did
no,
not.
that's how we
but-
met. No, I
Oh,
bought
did
it
you?
from him.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'll talk about that on the
Yeah.
live show about the hot water heater. It's it was fine, but I'll just leave it at that because we're kind of running short on time on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we
and
got to
then
get
I'll,
ready.
I'll add to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else you got, Chris?
Let's see.
I thought this was the live show.
No. This is
we're going way too fast for it to be a live show.
Yeah.
no. Yeah, this is.
This is just
It's
the
a
Dram.
practice run.
Yeah.
This is the Dram style.
Shall we?
You guys are getting the Cliff Notes version.
That's
Yes,
right.
100%.
Shall we call it?
I think we should call it.
All right. Well, that was the Whiskey with an Agent Dram style show. So we're gonna do the live show coming up, or maybe we've already done it. I don't know. It depends on how we post these. I don't know.
No, we'll just
see
label
what
it. I'll
happens.
label it as Dram style.
All right,
It'll
that's
be
fine.
labeled as Dram style.
That's fine.
Don't worry.
But either way, you can find it on Facebook, Instagram, and
YouTube.
YouTube. That's right. YouTube.
Spotify.
And then all the podcast places: Spotify, Apple
Yeah.
Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff.
All right.
So that's
Appreciate
all we
your
got.
time, Marty.
Yeah,
and
man.
you guys can find us at
Oh,
superinspectionpros.com.
yeah. We are so
I
rude.
know.
We didn't even.
That's
see
all
what
right.
company
You know,
you
I
were
wasn't
with.
going to let it fly.
So yeah,
Let me get
so-
in there. Superinspectionpros.com, and you can book online, or you can give us a call, and we can, set you in the right direction.
Where,
Yes.
where do you go? Like, where's your
So
base
Volusia
operations?
County and surrounding areas.
Volusia County and surrounding areas. Got it.
Okay. And you said you can book online, or
You could book online. Yep.
Okay.
You could book online,
Oh, that's
and then
easy.
we'll call you after you book, confirm.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and make sure there's no double booking or
Yeah.
overlap or anything like that.
Nice.
Perfect.
So
And our office staff
superinspectionpros.com.
is the best. I mean, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
They're on top of it.
I've dealt with them quite a few times. They're super nice. I like them
Awesome.
over there. So
Cool.
all right, that's all we got.
Peace, y'all.
See ya.
Cheers.